Ladies and gentlemen, greetings. I'm here to talk about horticulture, the art and science of useful plants. Practicing horticulture successfully requires three things: know-how, maintenance, and setup. The problem is that know-how is not easy to obtain, and it's very difficult to assimilate. Maintenance requires constant monitoring and control over changing conditions. And setup of automated hardware to control conditions is either too limited or too technical and expensive. Current solutions to this problem tackle just one problem at a time, fragmenting the experience as a result, which is, there we go. Fragmenting the experience as a result, which is why we created plantaware, a web service and hardware to overcome all these three problems at once. So plantaware setup is made of sensor-on-device nodes to control and monitor conditions. These nodes are very easy to deploy, they're plug and play. And plantaware maintenance works over the cloud. It tells you what to do and control the conditions through the hardware. Our know-how is crowdsourced from professionals and enthusiasts motivated to share their love of gardening while forming a social network for plants. The know-how then goes through our technology, which compiles it into what we call a growth cycle. A growth cycle is a plant profile which tells you what to do in your garden while maintaining plant needs vis-a-vis site conditions. So think about a growth cycle like the App Store for plants. They can be shared for social, monetary, or scientific reasons. Our model is selling hardware, sensor-on-device nodes. We also share run fee with growth cycle creators, and we refer buyers to relevant garden products. In the US, there are over 80 million households gardening, each spending on average $600 a year on their garden. The opportunity is those 60% saying they are interested in food growing, but are currently discouraged by lack of know-how, maintenance time, and poor setup. For the first time, these people will be able to grow their favorite plants like pros using technology that is powerful enough, easy enough, and fun enough to form a global culture of local agriculture. I want you to imagine a place where every family, village, or town will have thriving plants simply by connecting them to the web. This is the Internet of Plants. And if you were wondering, plantaware is not just an idea on a napkin. We have a fully operational prototype and pilot projects running. Sorry, we don't have time anymore.
Great. Thank you, Samir. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah. You can hang on to this. Okay. Brian, you like to start us off?
Sure. Great idea. Love the vision for the business. My question is really, I think there's a price sensitivity to the end consumer, and so I'd be curious to know the incremental cost, and have you done any case studies on death of a garden versus the life you bring and the incremental cost and the productivity, just to make it a clear value prop for the end consumer?
So we didn't get to the little bit more about the product, which would have been interesting to see. But I'm curious, given that the divergent range of plants that people grow, I'm presuming that the hardware side measures hydration, sunlight, and those kinds of things. But given that certain plants require different types of sunlight, different types of hydration, how much friction there is for the consumer on their side? Do they have to enter in what plants are adjacent to the hardware, et cetera, in order for this to be an effective system?
I'd be curious, and it'd be great to understand a little bit more about how you intend to take this to market. Is it selling direct? Is it through distributors? Is it in retail? Where's the right place to get in front of your target customer?
Yeah, I think in continuity to this, I'm also concerned on my end on the size of the market and whether or not the end market is a tech-savvy enough, I would say, customer base to really convert rapidly, or at least is it too soon for these type of customer?
I had a similar question, wondering if you've done any research to see if anyone wants to buy it. I think Kickstarter could be a good way to do that.
All right. So all great questions. Thank you. So the first one was about the price sensitivity. So first of all, we kind of take a look what's going on with other products out there, and we're comparing it on the consumer level to things like irrigation timers, or maybe a little bit more advanced systems that have sensors. Most of them range somewhere in the range between about $50 for something very basic to about $150 to $200 for something a little bit more elaborate. Our target price for consumer for what will be the average kit is about $300. We think that if we keep it just below $300, that's going to be the right margin point. And what happens is that really the ability to grow your own food at home is a major saving. So in terms of the return on investment, you're actually paying for that system within one cycle of either summer vegetables or winter vegetables. Instead of going and buying them from the supermarket, you just end up growing them your own, and you already saved it, not to mention, the health and the benefits of taste and so on. And then we talk about how to set up the effective system, which is kind of how does people going to deal with all these sophisticated sensors and all of that. Well, this is the beauty of what we do. On one hand, we have this very, very sophisticated engine that runs really, really sophisticated fuzzy logic. But on the side of the actual user, all they have to do is download a growth cycle, which is essentially a profile that contains all that logic in advance. So for them to set up the system, they don't have to go and deal with antiquated dials or say, I want to open the water for 3 hours a day. All they have to do is say, oh, here is what I want to go. I want to go to tomato. I want to go a rose. I want to go a fern. And that's it. The system will take it from there. It already knows what to do. And then we talk about taking it to market. So the interesting thing is that what we find out, that taking it to market has levels, what we call generation of users. So the first generation is really people that have a stake in creating growth cycle for public use. And the most common one that we talked to was seed suppliers, nurseries, agronomists, and things like that, that's what they do regardless. So they were very interested in being able to create those profiles and basically give people their knowledge because they make money from sharing this knowledge. And then about the tech-savvy market, this is go back to that same question that was raised before. So again, growth cycles is something that you only need to download, and that's it. You just say, here's what I want to grow, and it's already set. It's already in there. And then the other thing was, remind me please, that last question was about the Kickstarter. So we've been told that we should do a Kickstarter campaign since forever. And one of the things that happened is that despite what it may seem, we're not really a hardware-oriented company. We're actually a software-oriented company. And for us to do a Kickstarter where the majority of the money will actually be pre-sale for hardware is not a good idea until we get investment to actually develop the software to go along with it. So we want to do a Kickstarter campaign, but we want to do it once we get funded.
In just a little more broadly, I was wondering if you've done market research to see if anyone wants to buy it.
Oh, there's tons of people wants to buy it. Our bottleneck is making the hardware. We're currently building.
Real quick, there, we're behind time, so.
Okay, no problem.
If you got 2-3 seconds.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, our bottleneck is our ability to produce hardware. We're currently building it in my loft, in a shop. It's all done by hand. It's very, very difficult to create a quantity of it, and it's very difficult to give it away in a price that actually makes sense. We need to mass produce this in order to be able to lower the price and make it available for all those who want it.
Okay, great. Tamir, thank you.